Okay, so we are here again. Oh, look, he has his own fair use type of thing. So every time I click on this site, I get a different interesting number. My first number here was 1190, a 911, and this whole thing is about 911. Then my next number was 1236. That's the counting up number of Oregon Meridian, on and on. And now I have a 1617. I really think that very few people are going to understand the 1617 code. Do you guys get it? Because I've told you that 17 is pi that interrupts phi. So in this place, you know, it makes me wonder, I've heard the theory that numbers are alive. And I think that it's, you know, or they're alive. I wouldn't, you know, I don't know how to define it further than that, but they have, you know, like independent movement like that, you know, like say a bird or a dog, or, you know, they could be higher consciousness or associated with higher consciousness. Well, anyway, numbers will show up in your life. And they're not good or bad. They just are, and they have their various clues. So a number will come to you. And it will basically, it depends on your worldly outlook. If you see the world as a scary or a threatening place, the numbers will appear threatening. If you believe that the universe or the world is here to help you, then the numbers will be there to help and point the way. So anyway, this number right here shows me the disruption of destiny. By putting the Q or the 17 in. This is the conception or the power symbol. If you look at Q, it looks like the power symbol. So I just had to share this with you because I've had 3 amazing numbers on this site. All right, so anyway, this film production, it looks like Apophenia presents. Apophenia is, I didn't know this, the human tendency to perceive meaningful patterns within random data. So let me tell you, the way that it's defined, it's meant, so this makes me wonder if the person who made that video knows the true meaning of this word, because it's meant to say that it does not provide insight into the nature of reality or its interconnectedness, but is a process of repetitively monotonously experiencing abnormal meanings in the entire surrounding field. So it's defined as a mental disorder. Well, I don't know if you know anything about, you know, modern medicine and modern psychology. They basically, any time that you start to approach the truth, you are approaching a disorder. So it's, I don't know. So now, I don't think that this filmmaker is mischaracterizing himself or other pattern finders. But this is how we create reality. And this is how we navigate reality, with patterns. So it's just it's very, very basic to all human experience. All right. Well, I wanted to look that up for you, and then I also found it in the Simple in English Gematria, and I remember seeing this before, and I think it was in the Back to the Future section, and now I can't remember where I found it. I looked over my notes. I still can't find it yet. And it equals Matrix, Silver, McDonald's, Anunnaki, Twins, Boston, the Pope, Golgotha, Original, the Earth. So that, yeah, I bet you this is familiar. Basketball, Credit Card, Left Behind, Nibiru, Hail Satan, and Deutsch. So if you remember where we just saw this, please leave it in the comments for me, because I am looking over my notes and I can't seem to find it. Okay, so here Marty McFly is writing a letter to Doc, warning him about he's going to be shot by terrorists in the future, and then he says, take whatever measures you need to take, something like that. I'll play it for you a short bit to avert this terrible disaster. And then I want to show you what terrible disaster or tragedy. Actually, I can't remember. Let's see what he says.
Back in time, will be shot by terrorists. Please take whatever precautions are necessary to prevent this terrible disaster.
Okay, terrible disaster. In the simple and the English gematria, terrible disaster equals a rainbow warrior, Lord's Prayer, tetragrammaton, Napoleon Bonaparte, Lord of Hosts, Holy Spirit, in the wink of an eye. In the Jewish gematria, it equals 680, which is the 6-8 number, which equals stock and market, where stock market equals 816, or the Bride of Christ number. But terrible disaster seems like it matches a lot of numbers, a lot of sayings that have a 111 and a 666 in it. So I wanted to point that out. I don't know if that is the whole code. This number, this association popped out at me because of the 9-1 here, and I just did a video that has a Wikipedia saturation focus, I guess, on this number, so that I'm noticing more of it in these codes. So I had thought that because this number was upside down, that we should probably turn all of this upside down. So I'm not sure if that means that you would take the reciprocal of this number, but here we have the white and the dark, and then, but what they're saying is if you turn it upside down, then the dark will be on top. I'm not sure. There's an upside down code right here. There's also inexplicably a dog sitting here. I've talked in a video about JCPenney's. Very interesting. Over here is the film booth, the Fox film booth, and the touch film aspect of the code. But let's look at, but white truck is where Doc dies, and white truck equals Donald Trump. Ku Klux Klan, Queen of Heaven, Divine Feminine equals a 911, so we want to pay attention to that. Dome of the Rock, Queen of Heaven. The Pope visited the Queen of Angels, or the Queen of Heaven. I forget which exactly the title now when he was here. George H.W. Bush. All right, so that was white truck. I think it's interesting when we bring, since they do refer to October 21st, and now we do have Donald Trump on the scene, so it's interesting that white truck equals Donald Trump, and it is the site of something happening here. All right, talk to you soon.